Hello and welcome back to Nathan Plays Super Metroid. I'm Nathan and this is Super Metroid. Joining me today are Bentley the Yorkie Dog, Lori the Wife, and Gideon the Cat, watching and silently judging us from afar. The menu screens tried to get away on us, show us some more tips, but we don't need them. We're at 38 minutes. Going into the overview map, we were down in Norfair, kind of working our way back around there. As you might have guessed from the quick glimpses at the map earlier, the upper right is probably going to be the wrecked ship, and the lower right will be Meridia areas we'll get into, and that little bit in the middle is for much later on. Suspense. Here we are in Norfair. There's actually not an easy map station currently available to us, so we're just going to have to stumble around in the dark here for a little bit. But first of all, to go further into Norfair, we're going to need to leave Norfair. Why? I'll show you in a bit. Climb back up here. The map station is actually in there, behind that orange door that we are currently unable to open. Skip the green door and hop back onto the elevator. No buttons. Wonder how it works. Just senses. I guess there's really only two places you can go to. So you step on and assume the position, and up you go. Now, as you recall last time, we cracked open the wall here to take a look at the room beyond, but we couldn't make it all the way up. Well, now we have high jump boots. And we really have to... I mean, it's gross. Do I have to go in there? But... Okay, here we go. Ew, 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 ew. Ugh. It was awful. But we're through. Now we come to a little bit of another... it is another type of area. Sort of a tile set we haven't seen yet. Silver door and a dead end. What do we do with dead ends? We bomb them. And we find the way forward. There's actually another save point right nearby as well. If you made it all the way here, and you continue on to the right through a bit in the floor there, you'll actually see it on the map. Not too hard to track down, but we're gonna take a crack at this really obvious looking hole in the floor and push forward. Our old friends, the Space Pirates. Once again, a missile still does the trick, nice and easy. Get him out of the way. And, oh, some kind of a neat monster face motif while something throws spikes at us. Come on. Knock it off. Hey. And it's... What could it be? It's Kraid. Out of the way. Now, if you're a veteran from the first Metroid game, you might be forgiven for thinking that that was the actual boss that we came back here for, because in Metroid 1, he is about that size. Not actually that much bigger than you. The door bids us to continue, however, and we still do have that little face at the end of the hallway here. And we're heading towards, so we can reasonably assume that there's a little more to be done here. Upstairs, if you shoot through the ceiling and head up, there's an energy recharge station, but I prefer the more direct approach. Energy recharge won't give us the missiles we need after all. And we're full. That was quick. By the way, there's oh. Unfortunate soul here. You okay there, buddy? You, hey. Wake up. Okay, well, I'm sure it's fine. Actually, no canonical explanation that I know of. At least nothing in-game is ever given for who this unfortunate individual is. I guess it's just here to kind of make the area creepy. And it succeeds. Also, we have a little bit of a different looking door up ahead. Let's see what this is about. Oh, gross, an eyeball, and it shoots at us. Come on, that's not cool. These eyeballs, you will find them before every major boss battle in the game, in case you hadn't guessed that we are headed toward a major boss encounter. And yeah, if you see them, you always know, as the kids say, it's going down for real. I'm sorry, I'll never try and use slang like that. I apologize. It's just, I was trying to be relevant. Anyway, let's see what we have in here. Okay, rocks flying around. Not intimidated. Not intimidated. We're standing our ground. And, oh. Hey there, fella. So you can see already that the, okay, you do a little bit of damage. Doesn't take much. And, oh, now we get the full effect. Kraid's been bulking up. He's been hitting some of that weight gain powder, a little bit of workouts. The way through this fight is going to be to shoot him in the eye. And when he opens his mouth, you drop a super missile in it. Shouldn't have to do it too many times. And you're done. Of course, if you run into super missiles, if you your aim is poor or you're a little shaky, then regular missiles will suffice. And charge shot always works if you run into regular missiles as well. But, you know, with some timing and steady nerves, you'll be through it in no time. And that's our first major boss battle out of the way. Let's see what he was guarding. A pedestal with an egg. Delicious. Ooh. Barrier suit. Ooh. So here we are. The very suit changes, removes a little glowing patch from our rest plate and changes our shoulder pads slightly to be a little more intimidating. Also gives us a more pleasing shade of orange. And once again, that's all. You can also tell that it's made a difference on our schematics screen here. You can toggle the upgrades. You can see regular Samus versus various suit Samus. Amazing. A little harder to tell from the size. The shoulder pads don't really seem to change, but that's okay. Now, I'll give you a couple of guesses as to what this suit actually does. Just go ahead and shout them at your screen. I'll hear them through time and space. Don't worry. Give it a try. Meanwhile, while you're pondering and while you're screaming your guesses, I'm going to work my way backwards the way we came. Hey there, fake Kraid. You didn't fool us the first time, and you don't fool us the second. I'm gonna talk to Lori about getting a monster motif archway for the house somewhere. She is sitting right next to me, but she's actually drifted off to sleep, so actually, could you keep your guesses down? I'm gonna scale it back from the screaming. We're not even gonna bother with that save point over there. We're just gonna head back. Oh, and this silver door that we couldn't open on the way in is now openable. Let's see what's inside. Ugh, a dead end with horrifying facehugger creatures in it. Delightful. They're actually impervious to regular shots. Bombs or missiles are gonna have to be the order of the day, and apparently that was all that was in here. You can bomb as much as you want, but one thing the game is also starting to teach us is, as I mentioned before, if bombing doesn't work, start shooting up the place, and that's what we're really here for. One more energy tank. One more energy tank in tired universe. Something like that. One more traveling man. Back out through the... Blah. Looks like it's barfing us out. That's funny. Actually. Watch this. Blah. Yes. I am easily amused. Have you worked out what the various suit is for yet? Because I will give you a hint. We're going back downstairs. Okay, yes, I've dragged this out long enough. It is for heat shielding. We're going to walk into that room that we couldn't walk into before, and we are going to stand there and be all right with things. See? The suit actually glows in sort of a subtle way. I don't know if you can tell. And you can see up above that our energy is not dropping rapidly or at all the way it used to. We can now explore some of the super hot areas of Norfair. Missile door, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some more areas here. There is a... Where is that thing? Ow, ow, ow. Ow, 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 ow. You're here somewhere. Oh, other side. Okay, fine. Well, there's a missile down there somewhere, I think. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Don't need it. Nope. So now some sort of an earthquake is happening, and you can see the floor is lava. That stuff is still pretty painful, so we're going to try and keep out of it. But as you can see, I'm probably going to fall in more than once as these terrible seahorsemen shoot stones at me or something. You are annoying, seahorsemen, and nobody likes you. Ow. Impatient. And now we come to the bubble room. Bubbles! It's kind of cool. Just a neat sort of shimmery bubble effect in the background there. And we have a couple different ways to go yet again. Sort of like that big pink cherry blossom room we had a little while back. First of all, we're going to take a slight detour and grab that. One thing I'd encourage you to do if you ever have some free time on your hands, and you must because you're watching me play this, is to head on to YouTube or whatever and find the commercial that aired way back in the day for this game. It's actually kind of funny. It used to really get me all psyched up for the game. I was a big Metroid fan. I liked the first one. Would cheat, use the Justin Bailey code, and rip around the game using all the power-ups and stuff. So imagine my delight when this game surpassed it in every way. So as you, I'm just kind of doing my thing now. This passage doesn't go anywhere. You can safely assume that anything I walk past and don't remark upon is not useful to us. Or maybe is useful to us and I just forget. Either way, we'll be fine. This goes down to an area that we won't be able to access to until quite a bit later. We're gonna have to keep that in the back of our minds. Once again, the floor is lava. And watch out for that. We'll just kind of make our way through this as quickly as possible so they don't have time to start shooting at us and throw us off. We should be used to quickly climbing and while everything's going haywire around us, thanks to the intro of the game. If you made it through that, you're pretty much down for whatever this thing has to throw at you. And more or less. Try and get through here with a... there we go. I was about to say, trying to get through here with a modicum of grace and dignity before just throwing myself into the lava. That's how I do. I like to keep you on your toes as a viewer, just when you think I actually am somewhat decent at this game. Prove you wrong. Okay, this room doesn't have a lot to offer us just yet, but we are going to want to come back here later on for another excellent power-up. First we have some other business. These things can also be defeated with your charge jump attack. And the bubble motif creeping into this room shows us that we're back. We've actually looped around to the bubble room where we started in. Only this time we're in this previously inaccessible upper right portion. It's very possible that with some clever wall jumps you can make your way up here early. Take a moment here to talk about sequence breakers. Have I told you about sequence breakers? I don't think I have. I did mention in the very first video that this is not a speed run, and this game is actually incredibly well designed for people to try and do speed runs. And a lot of one thing that is incorporated into those speed runs is called sequence breaking. The game appears at first to be a very open-ended like very sort of open exploration, sort of go wherever, poke at different things. But actually, when you get to know it, there's a fairly prescribed sequence of events that you're meant to follow, and a fairly rigid set of like an upgrade path, basically. Like you need this thing before you get this other thing. By the way, having run down here, I can grab. We've seen this symbol before. Speed booster. Press and hold the A button to run. Well, we knew that already, didn't we? Oh boy, time to get out in a hurry. So as I was saying, sequence breaking is the act of using various tricks and sometimes glitches and little physics tricks to get things, get power-ups not in the order that you were meant to get them. People use these, use their techniques to get to areas of the game that they're not, strictly speaking, meant to be in just yet, and cut down on game time in a massive, massive way. It's not something that I ever looked into. It's definitely not something I can do. In the past, I have actually attempted to speedrun this game a little bit, and I gave up pretty quickly because, you know, I started making little mistakes everywhere. You never know, and I started getting frustrated, and I found I stepped back and I said, I'm getting angry at my favorite game of all time. Like, this cannot be. This makes no sense to me at all. So that's why I stick with my very comfortable locker combination run. Now we're going to close another big loop here, thanks to our fabulous new speed boost ability. Whoa! I'm not really stopping to explain some of these things very well, but the speed boost, yes, we hold down A to run, but now given enough hallway, we kick it into overdrive, and we can use that to clear certain kinds of blocks. We use it to do damage to enemies, and there's one or two other techniques that will be that unlock because of this, and I'll be demonstrating those a little bit later on. Save point, why not? Never a bad idea if you happen across one. And that brings us back to the very start of this installment. Wow, full circle. Deja vu. Excuse me. Having gotten that special little power-up, it's finally time to go into the green door. What's beyond the green door? Unimaginable horror. No, not true. It's just a hallway we couldn't get through before because we weren't fast enough, but now we are. See? Those gates would have stopped us in our tracks. I'll have to wait on that symbol a little bit longer, but we'll come back to it. Rest assured. Ah! There we go. These guys want to dump us in the lava as quickly as possible, and that's not very nice of them. And we got some more. Keep an eye on the right side of the screen as I go up. You can see those little dudes are there to kind of telegraph something worth checking out. And as tempting as it is to head out that door, we're gonna go see what they wanted to show us first. It takes a little bit of care if you have to sort of hook into there. And they came from, whoa, another power-up. Why, it's a little like a lizard with a little eye in his mouth. What could it mean? Ice beam. It's an ice beam. It's a nice beam. It's an ice beam. What does it do? It adds a cool blue trail effect to your shot. Changes the sound effect. And that's about it. Oh yes, and I suppose it also freezes your enemies. Behold! This thing is pretty darn useful. Frozen enemies can be stood upon, as they will show you in just a moment. There's kind of a little tutorial area here this turns into. Now that you have this new ability, they show you the various ways in which it will be useful. For instance, freezing little green gloopy dudes so you can stand on them and get across lava. Or finally putting these unkillable jet things to good use. Time to start pulling your weight around here, buddy. Collapsing floors brings us back to go. We're gonna take the easy way back out because we can't really get past the gates They're still closed from before. But fortunately, there's a little shortcut there. Well, now that we have the freeze beam, we have quite a bit of backtracking to do. We've done basically all we can do down here for now. So it's time to head back the way we came. I think it's about time we work towards something that gets those orange doors open, don't you? Back through Meridia there. Ha! You'd love to just grab me in your jaws, wouldn't you? But you can't, idiot. Same goes for you, pal. You'd love to just fall down on my head, wouldn't you? But you... Oh, well, I'll just... Well, you're gonna... You can't. Idiot. This thing is the best. Well, way back when, we fell down this long chasm and we were thinking, how are we gonna get out of this? Well, turns out the answer is... Ice beam. Whoops. Ice beam. Ice beam. Ice beam. Now you could be tempted to try and wall jump your way up here, but this lip makes that very difficult, not to mention not getting hit by those dudes on the way up, which will interrupt the whole fair. Oh, now that I have the ice beam, I feel comfortable showing you what was behind this block that I warned you about earlier. It's not one of those stupid face hugger guys. Leave him be. Ice beam is also useful for freezing the everlasting pipe monsters so that they don't keep coming out. So that's a plus. We still can't go back this way, by the way, because as you recall, there was that one-way gate, and we don't have anything to tackle that just yet, so we're going to have to go up. Now that we have the high jump boots as well, this is much easier to traverse. So that was kind of the other way they gate this off. Very clever, these designer people. Also tricksy. And this is an even more difficult wall jump because you have to shoot that, and in order to shoot something, you can't be flipping anymore. And so it sort of ruins the whole thing. I'm sure sequence breakers have figured all that out. And now we come to this room of unmitigated horror. Spikes and horrible flower things everywhere that will chew on you if you fall into them. Maybe you'll get to see it if you're lucky and I'm clumsy. And Ice Beam at least helps with those things that want to swoop and knock us off our perch here. And, oh. Well, now I feel kind of bad. I feel like I should show you one chewing on me just to complete the effect. Ah, orange door. Why do you gotta mess with us like that? Well, well. It would be tempting to go up, because that's what your map shows. And from here you can actually get back to the ship in pretty short order. But, we are actually gonna try something different, and we're gonna go down. Ah. Oh, look at this. Well, it's playing the item room music, so hopefully we'll find something interesting at the end of this. Freeze those little characters there so we can jump across, and it's... Oh. Power bomb. Yes, it turns out the circle thing with the little lines through it belongs to the power bomb upgrade. Let's see what it does. Well, it knocks down this wall for starts and makes a very cool graphical effect on the screen. There's a lot less power bombs than there are regular missiles, of course, just like the super missiles. They're useful in a variety of situations, and they do a bit of damage on bosses if you're low on everything else. You can always just start power bombing as much as possible. They're also useful if you are hunting for secrets and you haven't found one particular power-up that makes that a lot easier. Instead of meticulously bombing every square, you can just drop power bombs and see if anything cracks open. That'll work a lot of the time. But Having snagged those, actually, okay, before, we'll just grab these, and then we're gonna call it a video. Wah! The regular beam takes a lot of shots to defeat those things, so maybe we'll just... Even 2 super missiles, they're rather hefty beasties. Oh, look at that. Power bombs all the way down. We're gonna fall in. Oh, it was a trick. Let's grab a couple extra of those for funsies. It's rare, unless you're hunting for something, it's rare that you'll run out just through regular usage unless you decide to use them a lot. Maybe it's safer to say that it's rare that I run out through regular usage because I just don't really use them in combat that often. Whoa. Alright, we'll duck into this save point here. And I think that'll make a reasonable installment. Next time, having our brand new power bombs that can crack open the orange doors, we're gonna have to work our way back down, all the way back down to Norfair, and see if we can make some more progress there. So with that, I will hop into the save station here. I will say thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next mission.